All right, thanks, guys. Welcome to the show. As you can see, I'm sitting in front of a blank screen. If you don't already know, I have two massive big screens in my living room. Well, the main big screen, Unky Brock is babysitting today, so the big screen is being used for SpongeBob, and the secondary screen, well, it's just blank. But anyway, Unky Brock is babysitting today, and I'll tell you, my nephew's he's getting changed now. I'll tell you, he just crapped his pants and he blamed it on Unky Brock. So I didn't know he's 2 years old and he'll be 2 and he's already blaming the bad smells on Unky Brock. It's actually a great play because after Olive Garden last night, you probably could blame me. But anyway, guys, we are 7-1 in our last 8 board member premium selections on Patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 67% for the entire college football season. You can check out that site in the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, guys, we got ourselves a nice slate of NHL action here today, so let's go ahead and get into it. Beginning with the Panthers taking on the Rangers, 1 o'clock Eastern puck drop at Madison Square Garden. The Panthers are minus 125 on the road, total at 6.5. Now, we saw movement on both the side and the total in this one. A nickel fade of Florida and movement upward on the total. The Panthers open $1.30 down to minus 125. Total open 6 up to 6.5. 51% of the consensus are leaning toward the Rangers. 64% shaded toward the over. Right now, New York is plus 105 on the money line. Florida plus $1.90 laying the goal and a half. Now we have Sam Montembeault for Florida, Heinrich Lundqvist for the Rangers. Lundqvist comes into this game with a 4-3 record, .922 save percentage. The Rangers have actually won their last 2 straight games, and they're 5-2 straight up in their last 7. They're led by Art Panarin, 8 goals, 16 points on the year. Pavel Buchnevich, 10 assists, 12 points for him. And Ryan Strome, 14 points. He is plus 6 on the year as well. Now Florida on the other side, losers in their last 2 straight. They're in 5th place in the Atlantic Division. 5 points back of first place in that division. Florida ranks in the bottom 5 in goals allowed, bottom 10 in goals allowed on the road. Now, total-wise, the Panthers are 60% to the over when traveling. The Rangers, 90% to the over in their last 10 head-to-head matchups with the Panthers. I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me the Rangers plus 105 and the over 6.5 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and slide into our next matchup for the show. It is going to be Stars taking on the Jets, 2 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Winnipeg. The Jets are minus 115, total 5.5. We saw a 10-cent fade of the Jets. No movement on this total as of yet. Winnipeg opened 125 down to minus 115, totals 5.5. 54% are leaning toward Dallas, 57% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Stars are catching even money on the money line. Winnipeg plus 235, laying the goal and a half. We have Connor Hellebuck for the Jets, Ben Bishop for the Stars. Bishop is 5-5 on the year. Meanwhile, Connor Hellebuck on the other side, 7-5-1 on the season, 2.30 goals against, and a .933 save percentage. Winnipeg's won 3 out of their last 4 games. They also rank in the top 10 in goals allowed at home. Scheifele and Connor have 6 goals apiece. Line, 11 assists, 14 points total. And Nick Ehlers, 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points for him. Now, on the Dallas side, Como and Dickinson, they were placed on the IR back in October, so you won't see those guys anytime soon. Dallas also ranks in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 10 in offensive shots. They've dropped 7 out of their last 10 head-to-head matchups with the Jets. Now, total-wise, Dallas is 13-4 to the under for the season, 5-3 to the under on the road. Winnipeg 10-6-1 to the under, 6-2-1 to the under at home. I'm going to lean Winnipeg minus $1.15 and the under 5.5 in that game. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Devils taking on the Canucks, 4 o'clock Vancouver. The Canucks are minus 165, totals at 6. Here's another game where we saw movement on both the side and the total. We saw a 10-cent fade of Vancouver and movement downward on the total. The Canucks open $1.75 down to 165. Total open 6.5 down to 6 flat. 84% are leaning Canucks, 64% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Devils are plus 145 on the money line. Vancouver plus $1.50, laying the goal and a half. We have Jake Markstrom for the Canucks, Mackenzie Blackwood for the Devils. Blackwood has a 313 goals against and an 888 save percentage. Meanwhile, Markstrom on the other side for the Canucks, a little bit better in that category. He's 5-3 on the year, 250 goals against, 917 save percentage. Now, Vancouver is 9-5-3 overall for the year, 4-0-2 at home. They're in third place in the Pacific Division, and they're just 3 points back of first place in that division. They're led by JT Miller, who's got 8 goals on the year, 18 points. Eli Pettersson, 21 points total for him, 15 assists. Levo, Tanev, and Stetcher are all +6 on the year. Vancouver rank in the top 10 in scoring, top 3 in scoring at home, top 10 in goals allowed at home. Now, the Devils on the other side, they've lost their last 2 straight. They're also just 2-5 straight up in their last 7. Vatanen's listed as questionable. Butcher's still out. They're in last place in the Metropolitan Division. They are 17 backs of first place in that division, and they're in the bottom 3 in road goals and road shots allowed. Now, total-wise, New Jersey is 10-5 to the over for the season. Vancouver, 60% to the over at home. I'm going to lean Canucks -165. And the over 6 goals in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Sunday's NHL action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 6-1 in our last 7 board member package plays on that site. We're also hitting at 67% for the entire college football season on that website. We do a bunch of different tiers, memberships, and packages on that site, beginning at just $1.99 per month. And you can also access my current record for free right on the homepage. Now, a lot of folks ask me, what's the difference between Patreon and YouTube? Well, what we do on YouTube is we handicap every single game, both side and total. We formulate an opinion and a pick on every single option on the board. Well, guys, if you bet that way, you will lose every single time. You cannot beat the books. They're too good, and the math is against you. You cannot bet every single game on the board, both side and total. You'll never win. What we do on Patreon is we really focus and dial in on 3 to 4 premium selections a day. Those are my personal plays. Those are games that I personally have action on, and I'll tell you this much. My win percentage and record on Patreon is much better than it is on YouTube, and you can check it out right now on the homepage for free. All you got to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, guys, once again, if you're just joining me, Unky Brock's babysitting today, and the baby's hiding. Now he's looking. He needs some more juice. He's holding his butt. I think he crapped himself again. But anyway, Unky Brock is relegated to the second TV screen in the room. We have 2 TV screens in the living room, one for sports, the other for sports. We have one in the kids' bedroom. We got 2 more in our bedroom. We have one we're not even using. We have a TV we're not even using. So I'm a sports nut, and they are all dedicated to sports and, Grey's Anatomy on Thursdays. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and dive back into some more lines and personal leans. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Golden Knights taking on the Red Wings. 5 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Detroit. The Golden Knights are -175 on the road. Totals at 6. 83% are leaning Golden Knights. And at the moment, Detroit is +155 on the money line. We did see a 10-cent fade of Vegas in the early wagering. They open $1.85 down to -175. Total open remains at 6 goals. And once again, 83% are leaning toward Vegas. Now, Detroit is +$1.55 on the money line at home. Vegas is +140, laying the goal and a half. With Malcolm Subban for the Golden Knights, Jimmy Howard for the Red Wings. Howard's just 2-8 on the year, 399 goals against, 887 save percentage. Malcolm Subban on the other side for Vegas comes into this game with a 911 save percentage. Now, Detroit's dropped 8 out of their last 10 games. They're just 5-12-1 overall for the year. Last place in the Atlantic Division, 13 points back of the division lead. Detroit ranks in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 3 in goals allowed. Glendening and Ernie were placed on the IR back in October. Now, Vegas on the other side, 9-6-3 overall for the year, just 3 points back for the lead in the Pacific Division. They rank in the top 5 in the NHL in offensive shots. They're also top 3 in goals allowed on the road. Riley Smith is leading the charge with 10 goals a game, 4 assists, 14 points. Stone and Pacioretty, 10 assists apiece for them. And William Karlsson, 12 assists, 16 points. He's +5 on the season. Now, total-wise, Vegas is 6-3 to the under when traveling. Detroit, 67% to the under in their last 9 games, taking on the Pacific Division. If you're into historical trends, I'm going to lean Golden Knights minus $1.75 and the under 6 goals in that game. Next matchup, Flyers, Bruins, 7 o'clock, Beantown. The Bruins are minus 225, total at 6. No movement on this total as of yet. We did see a 15-cent fade of Boston in the early wagering. The Bruins open 240, down to 225, totals at 6. 76% are leaning Bruins, 68% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Flyers are plus 185 on the money line. Boston catching even money on the puck line. We have Yaroslav Halak for the Bruins, Carter Hart for the Flyers. Hart comes into this game with an .889 save percentage. Meanwhile, Halak for the Bruins, 4-1-1 on the year, 285 goals against, .917 save percentage. Boston is 11-3-2 overall for the year, 7-0-1 at the Garden. They're also 7-1 against the spread at home. And of course, when I refer to the spread in NHL, I'm referring to the puck line. So once again, the Bruins are 7-1 at home in their last 8 puck line plays. They're led by Drew Pasternak, who's having one heck of a year. 15 goals, 15 assists, 30 total points for him. Brad Marchand, 18 assists, 28 points for him. Marchand is plus 11 on the year as well. And the crafty veteran, 42-year-old Zdeno Chara is plus 13 in the plus-minus differential there. Boston, top 3 in home scoring, top 3 in goals allowed at home. Meanwhile, Philadelphia on the other side, 3-4-1 away from home. Bottom 10 in road goals allowed, 4-6 straight up in their last 10, taking on Boston. Scotty Lawton still out indefinitely. Now, total-wise, Boston 9-5-2 to the over. They're also 4-3-1 to the over at the Garden. Chalky play, square play for me here. Give me the Bruins minus 1.5 and the over 6 goals in that game. All right, 2 more games to go. We got the Maple Leafs taking on the Blackhawks, 7 o'clock Chicago. The Maple Leafs are minus 130, totals at 6.5. We saw a 10-cent fade of Toronto, no movement on the total as of yet. The Leafs open $1.40, down to $1.30, total 6.5. 66% are leaning Toronto, 82% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Blackhawks are plus 110 on the money line. Toronto plus $1.80 on the puck line. We do have Mike Hutchinson for the Maple Leafs, Robbie Lehner for the Blackhawks. Robbie Lehner comes into this game with a 3-3 record. Chicago's just 5-7-4 overall for the year, 6th place in the Central Division. They're 13 points back of St. Louis in that division there. They're ranking the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 3 in shots allowed. Now, Toronto on the other side, winners in 3 out of their last 4. They're in second place in the Atlantic Division, just 2 points back of Boston for the lead. Austin Matthews, 13 goals a game, 21 points. He's plus 7 on the year. Ilya Mikheyev, plus 7 on the year as well, 11 points total. Now, if you play fantasy or you're just a fan of Toronto, not some great news. Mitch Marner is listed as out for tonight's action, so just figured I'd give you a heads up on that. Now, total-wise, Chicago, 10-5-1 to the under, 5-3-1 to the under at home. I'm going to lean Toronto minus $1.30 and the under 6.5 goals in that game. And we're going to slide into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Oilers taking on the Ducks, 9 o'clock Anaheim. The Ducks are minus 120, totals 5.5. No movement on this total as of yet. We did see a 15-cent fade of Anaheim in the early wagering. The Ducks open $1.35, down to minus 120, totals 5.5. 54% are leaning Anaheim, 52% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Oilers are catching even money on the money line. Anaheim plus 215, laying the goal and a half. We have John Gibson for the Ducks, Mike Smith for Edmonton. Smith is 5-4-1 on the year, 2.22 ERA. It's not an ERA, it's a goals against average. And a 9.26 save percentage. Meanwhile, John Gibson on the other side, just 6-7 on the year. Now, Andre Case is out indefinitely for the Ducks. Manson was placed on the IR, and Kessler is out for the season. Anaheim ranks in 6th place. They don't rank, they are in 6th place in the Pacific Division. They lost their last 2 straight games, and they rank in the bottom 3 in offensive shots on average per game. Now, Edmonton on the other side, completely different story. They're in the top 3 in road goals allowed, top 5 in road shots allowed. They're 11-5-2 overall for the season, 6-3 ATS on the road. Very good on the puck line when traveling. Leon Draisaitl, 14 goals, 16 assists, 30 total points for him. James Neal, 12 goals thus far for the year, 14 points total for Neal. Connor McDavid, 27 points total, 19 assists. And Zach Cashian, plus 11 on the season. Now, total-wise, Edmonton is 7-2 to the under when traveling. Anaheim, 5-4 to the under at home. I'm going to lean toward the Oilers catching even money on the road and the under 5.5 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and slide into our quick pick recap brought to you by Unky Brock at patreon.com/BrockPage. Of course, if you're just joining us and you skipped ahead to the quick pick recap, the reason why I'm in front of a blank screen is that Unky Brock is babysitting today, so our main TV in the living room has SpongeBob on it. And I'm delegated to our second TV. And of course, if you know me, we have TVs all over the apartment. We got 2 TVs in the living room, 1 in the kids' room. We got 2 in the bedroom, 1 we're not even using. So anyway, I am delegated to the secondary TV. Anyway, Unky Brock is going to give you his quick pick recap, so let's go ahead and get into it. I like Edmonton catching even money in the under 5.5. Toronto minus $1.30, under 6.5. Boston minus 1.5, over 6 goals. Vegas Golden Knights minus 175, under 6 goals. Vancouver minus 165, over 6 goals. Winnipeg minus 115, under 5.5. And last but certainly not least, I got the Rangers plus 105 and the over 6.5 goals in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. Shout out to the Sauce Sensei Master Drip Lord. Shout out to DR, Chris Temple 66, Vernon Williard, Justin I, Perfin Torsi, Shotgun Shell 80. Shout out to Alex CR, who's been giving me some pointers and helping me out with my Spanish recap on the NBA videos. So what we'll do here on this NHL video is we'll do the recap in French. So, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know any French, but I can learn. Do you know French? No? I should learn because, NHL, I should definitely touch up on my French. But anyway, thank you, Alex CR. You are the man. Shout out to Urania Jimenez, Trevor123, Steve Puss Powers. What kind of name is that? Steve Puss Powers. Well, shout out to you, Steve. You're a good guy, and we love you, man. Your name is questionable, but we still love you, brother. Shout out to Lane, Eternal Master, Irek, Bo Dunn, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to Roddy Christie. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're 7-1 in our last 8 board member plays. We're also hitting at 67% for the entire college football season. You can access my current record for free right on the homepage. Link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for tuning in right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage.